Is it going? Hello, my visionary friends. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I am speaking on purpose, and I wanted to show this tree. It's phenomenal. It's got a base foundation, and then it has 7 sub trunks coming out of it. And I think that foundation is super important in our purpose as leaders, as visionaries, and even in our personal life. All of the trials and errors that we go through when we don't really know what's happening with us, we don't know why we're going through things, we don't know how come this happened to me, that didn't happen to them, how come everybody in our family may be doing something, but everything we try doesn't work. Um, there are a lot of questions and answers that go on in our minds until we come to realize that we have a specific purpose, and God has crafted our purpose and destiny based on our life and what we've been through. So he knows every single tidbit that he's put in. Not that he wants us suffering, but he has a way of building us and bringing us into fruit with a strong foundation. And in order for us to have that strong foundation, we need him. Because if we count on me, myself, and I theories and friends and wealth and celebrityship and brownie points and PhDs, all of those things fall to the ground and must be bowed down and thrown in the ground compared to the holiness and the majesty and the righteousness of God. They're useless. But what God does is he builds us up and he strips us of everything that we've been taught by environment, by family, and by even media and everything else, who we are or who we're supposed to be. When God knows who we are and he knows what our purpose is, and he made us and created us to be something specific on this earth, and we're all little puzzle pieces. And as he has crafted us individually, sooner or later our little pieces are going to get closer and closer together, and we are going to be merged as one. And so that's what I had a revelation about. And this tree kind of solidified the thought when I thought about purpose. Purpose is so important that it's built on a foundation. And when we discover that we have a unique purpose, it also is based on the beginnings of our personal journey, all the things we had to go through. And that's our foundation to be strong and to be able to handle all the trials, tribulations that we've been able to go through and get better and better at it so that we know we have God on our side. So with that being said, this is a beautiful tree. I just wanted to bring this into the forefront because I think it is significant. And so I'm hoping that this is taping. I'm not sure if it is, so I might have to redo it again. But anyway, I'm going to keep speaking and hope that it is taping and recording. So, purpose, I start out by kind of analyzing the word itself, what it means to me. In my life, it's been extremely relevant as the year, even this beginning of this year up till now, more and more revelations have come to me to see and understand purpose even more, and that I have a special purpose, even though I didn't quite get all the pieces, but that's the wisdom and the knowledge and the whimsical aspect of God is he does not want us to always figure things out because he gets the glory on everything. So purpose number one is powerful. I like to say my P words with power because the P makes you have to do your lips a certain way. You can say a whole bunch of words without doing anything special with your mouth. But when you say P words, your mouth has to change structure. It has to completely change. So I like to put emphasis on P words, and purpose is a P word because it's powerful. And so when you think about the P words in the vocabulary, they are powerful words, and they can either strip you or change you. Like poverty is a painful P word, but it's powerful because it can strip a whole generation into thinking that they don't belong to God and that God doesn't care about them and that they're always going to be po. And that's way far from the truth because God designed us with a purpose. He designed us with power in us. He did not give us the spirit of poverty, but He gave us the spirit of love, a sound mind, and power. So I hope I'm getting my message across. But anyway, I'm just having fun with you guys, but I'm speaking truth as well. So purpose is powerful. It's something that you own. You own it. When you know your purpose, you own it. You don't want to be inside of a classroom and learning something and the teacher doesn't know who she is. She doesn't understand what her purpose is and she's just at the front of the classroom going, and you're sitting at the desk and you're all looking at her and she hasn't said she's teacher, she's Mrs. such and such, she's your algebra teacher for this semester and you will be doing A, B, C, and D. No, she identifies her purpose for why you are getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning, brushing your teeth, jumping in the car, and coming to this building to go and sit in this classroom for the next 3 months. So purpose is powerful and it is something to own up to. Purpose also makes you unstoppable because once you know your purpose, naysayers, family members, so-called friends, whoever they are, they can say whatever they want according to their mankind understanding. But we are told in in Proverbs 3, that we don't lean on our human mankind understanding, but we go by submitting to God and letting Him be the one to lead us with His magnificent understanding. So it's never been about us in the first place. And so that is a wonderful thing because as we know we are unstoppable, we gain understanding of God. God's understanding comes and flourishes in us as we begin to see our purpose. We're also radiant beings. We are lights. All the angels that God created, including us down here on earth, we are little lights. The angels are huge lights, but we're lights too. And so we have a radiance. And as knowing what our purpose is like radar. When our radiance is out there, God plants us in specific places. He leads us to be in certain places. And when we are there, we're like, why am I in this job? Why am I living here? Why do I have to deal with this? Why this? And everything around us is dark is because we're there on purpose, because of our purpose. And that's a revelation that I came up to, is why we go through these things, why we'll be surrounded by all kinds of wickedness, and why do we have to suffer? Why do we have to hold every accusation? Why do we have to have this when everybody else can get away with bloody murder and it's okay? But us, if we blink or look wrong, then we're crucified. And so all of this has come for me as a revelation that yes, we have to go by the understanding and that we are radiance, we are lights, and Jesus says it, we are lights of the world. Okay? So that's the great thing about purpose. Another thing about purpose is it is uh, it is wonderful to know that we have potential, and our potential opens up many possibilities. When we know what our purpose is, we get light bulb eyeballs. Like, you know how you just look straight face and then you see something in the movie and all of a sudden your eyes go big and your eyebrows go up? Well, that's what the purpose and the potential is. It's the possibilities. And is God limited? He says it. Is there anybody like me? Is there anybody? Let them proclaim it. He says, let them proclaim it. He says, is there anything too difficult for me? And is there anything too difficult for him? With the Israelites at the Red Sea and all of the Pharaoh's army coming in the desert where there's not a palm tree in sight but heat, 120-degree heat, and people are walking all together, almost 3 million people, and Moses is in the lead, and there's a sea that shows up. Is there anything too difficult for me? And Moses is using his rod. He said, make sure you have your rod with you, Moses, when you leave and bring my people out of that prison house. and he raises his staff, and what happens? He says, "Now split the sea, Moses." So as Moses is looking and he's like, "Split the sea." Well, how do you split? Well, let me move it down like this. As he's doing it, God split the doggone sea. He already had the sea creatures on one side. You guys stay over there. Don't come. Don't try to get on the other side. You guys, you stay over there and don't try to come on this side. I got a mission to do right now, so you guys stay put. And sure enough, the land was dry, and the Israelites escaped, and they got out of that situation. And God could have done it in many ways. He could have sent a lift. He could have sent a super blimp to pick them up. He could have put them in hot air balloons. He could have sent a helicopter or many helicopters to lift them up. He could have had a giant plane. He could have emptied the whole sea out and let a big giant plane land on the ground of the Dead Sea and let them all get into the spaceship or whatever and take them out. He could have done many, many things. He could have brought them up like the rapture, when we are going to see Jesus up in the air and we're all going to be brought up to him in the whiff of a moment. He could have done it like that. He could have just brought them all up like a big tidal wave, and they could have just been thrown over to Canaan, the land of milk and honey. But he chose that route so that it would be known that only God could do this. No oceanographer can explain it. No marine biologist could explain it. No wizard, no witch could explain it. No cockroach could explain it. And no scientist with 10 PhDs could explain it. So that's the way God is. He loves for us to see his glory, and he loves it when we rejoice and praise him and see that he really is the true living faithful God, because look at what he just did. No man can claim it. No man can claim this, right? So that gets me excited. I can go on and on about all the things that God does that makes me excited, and knowing that I have a purpose in his kingdom. Also, purpose is it also shows us that we are overcomers, and as overcomers, that's those struggles we went through, that's those pains, that's those losses, those deaths, those people we've lost, that child that has brain cancer that we've had to deal with, not knowing that we're going to meet somebody else with a child who has a brain tumor and who's going to die. And because we went through it, we can sit down with that mom or dad and tell them that they're with them, and they understand exactly what they're going through, and pray for them and be a source of support for them. So, if you didn't go through it yourself, how are you going to help somebody else? And he's all about community. Purpose is also about community, for us to share. And as we've been through stuff, we are open to not focus on our troubles, but to be support and comfort for others. And so, as God sent Jesus down on earth to die for us and all our troubles, and he gave us comfort and peace and love and all these things, then we too have learned by example that that's why we have to do the same for each other. Okay, and then also when I think of purpose in my life, I would say it's spiritual. It starts with the little spirit man in you. It's a spiritual thing. It's about God and us. It's about our Father God and us, our individual, unique purpose on this planet is between us and God. And he has put a special purpose for us to do. And it's going to be extravagant because we can't do it by ourselves. We need him in order to do it. So that's a very comforting thing, but it also takes courage, because we're going to go through some fire and some rivers and some water and some waterfalls and some flooding. And we're going to go through a lot of other things. But when we know he's with us, then it makes us turn fear into courage, which is important when you know your purpose. You can't be like a deer in the headlights and just totally be in fear. No, you have to know through your trials and tribulations, God has built courage into you, and he's done enough things for you to know that he will be with you and you will succeed. And then I say the last thing about purpose is you embrace it, own up to it, know that, hey, I love that I have a purpose. I'm not bothered by what so and so's doing or my father did or all my doctors in my family, and I decided to be an artist. And everybody's looking at me crazy because they're all doctors and surgeons, and here I am. I'm an artist. I know I have a purpose, and God's purpose in me is mine and mine only. So I embrace my purpose. And when you're strong in that purpose, you're able to own up to it, and nothing can turn you away from what your purpose is. So I think that's very good, and I just wanted you to know I'm on my purpose. I'm learning more and more about my purpose, and I'm so thankful for this program with the leadership distinguishing purposes that we are learning from each other, and knowing that there's something bigger than just us, and it's not really about us, but it's about us as one, coming together and being in God's alignment. So I hope you got something out of this. I look forward to your comments. Have a wonderful Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.